You're standing in the dressing room. The shirt fits fine. The price is reasonable. You came here specifically looking for it. But now you can't decide. You take it off. Put it back on the hanger. Tell yourself you need to think about it. You leave the store empty-handed. Again, not because you couldn't afford it. Not because nothing fit, but because choosing felt impossible. And this isn't just about clothes. Yesterday, you spent an hour adding things to your online cart, then closed the browser without ordering. Last week, you went to 3 different stores looking for sheets. Came home with nothing because you couldn't commit to a color. You have a closet full of clothes, but still feel like you have nothing to wear. Not because you don't like what you have, but because every morning, picking an outfit feels like a test you might fail. What if it's too much? What if it's not enough? What if people notice and judge? So you are the same safe things over and over. The ones that don't require a decision anymore. And maybe this sounds trivial. Maybe it sounds like you're just indecisive. But you know it's not. It's never been just about clothes, or carts, or sheets. It's about everything. The job application you've rewritten but never sent. The relationship you can't commit to and can't leave. The apartment lease you didn't sign. The text message you typed and deleted 20 times. Every choice, no matter how small, feels like it carries too much weight. Like one wrong move will confirm what you've always feared, that your judgment can't be trusted, that you're not capable of managing your own life. So you freeze. And freezing feels safer than failing. You research more. You ask more people. You make pro and con lists that never end. You tell yourself you're being careful, thoughtful, responsible. But underneath, you know what you're really doing. You're trying to find the one perfect choice, the decision that comes with a guarantee. And because that doesn't exist, you choose nothing. You let opportunities expire. You let other people decide for you. You let time make the choice so you don't have to. And then you tell yourself it wasn't really your fault. Because here's the thing, this isn't laziness. This isn't simply overthinking. This is your nervous system trying to protect you from something that happened a long time ago. Something you might not even remember clearly. Because at some point, when you were younger, a choice led to consequences that felt catastrophic. Maybe you spoke up and were punished. Maybe you asked for what you wanted and were told you were selfish. Maybe you made a choice that disappointed someone you loved, and their anger felt like abandonment. Maybe you were blamed for an outcome you couldn't control. Or maybe it wasn't one big moment. Maybe it was 100 small ones. 100 tiny experiences that taught you your judgment was dangerous. And so your brain learned a rule. Choosing is unsafe. Not intellectually, not consciously, but in your body, in the tightening of your chest when you have to pick, in the dread that comes with being asked, what do you want? In the relief you feel when someone else makes the choice for you. Your nervous system encoded this as survival information. And now, years later, it's still running that program. This is what psychologists call decision paralysis, rooted in anticipated regret. Your brain is scanning for danger, amplifying risk, catastrophizing outcomes. Not because you're broken, but because once making the wrong choice felt like it could destroy you. And your brain never updated that assessment. So now, even when the stakes are low, your body reacts as if they're life or death. Choosing a shirt feels like choosing your entire future. Choosing a text feels like choosing the trajectory of your life. And the adaptation you made, becoming someone who doesn't choose, felt like the safest option. If you never commit, you can't be wrong. If you never decide, you can't be blamed. If you stay in the space between options, you stay in control. Or so it feels. But here's the truth. You're not in control. You've given control away. To time, to circumstance, to other people, to inaction. Every moment you spend frozen is a choice. It's just not conscious. When you don't apply for the job, you've chosen to stay where you are. When you don't end a relationship, you've chosen to continue it. When you don't send a message, you've chosen silence. Default choices are still choices. And because they're not conscious, you don't get to direct them. You don't get to shape them. You don't get to own them. You're letting life happen to you, while convincing yourself you're being careful. And the cost of this shows up everywhere. You're watching people around you take risks, make mistakes, recover, keep going, and you're still standing at the crossroads, still weighing, still hoping that if you think long enough, The right answer will become obvious. But it won't. Because the problem isn't lack of information. It's the fear itself. No amount of research will make the tightness in your chest go away. No amount of asking or planning will make choosing feel safe. Because the fear isn't about the decision. It's about what the decision represents. Responsibility, visibility, consequence, blame, the possibility that you'll be wrong, the possibility that everyone will notice, the possibility that regret will have no one to share it with. And so you've built a life around avoiding that moment. A life that looks careful but feels hollow. Because you're not moving toward anything. You're moving away from risk. And in doing so, you've made yourself smaller. Your world narrower. Not because you don't want more. Because wanting more requires choosing more. And choosing feels unbearable. So you stay where you are. Comfortable in your discomfort. Safe in your stuckness. Here's what you need to understand. This pattern isn't happening to you. It's happening through you. Your brain is doing what it was trained to do. When you were young and a choice led to pain, it recorded that. Not as a memory, as a physical response. A warning system. And every time you're faced with a decision, that system activates. Your heart rate rises. Your thoughts spiral. Your body tenses. This is not weakness. This is your nervous system doing its job. The problem is that the job it's doing is outdated. The danger it's protecting you from isn't here anymore. You're not a child who will be punished for choosing wrong. You're an adult capable of recovering from mistakes. But your body doesn't know that yet, because you haven't taught it. Every time you avoid a decision, you tell your nervous system it was right to be afraid. Every time you let someone else decide, you confirm your judgment can't be trusted. Every time you freeze, you deepen the pathway. And the longer this goes on, the harder it becomes to break. Not because you're incapable, but because the pattern is automatic. It doesn't feel like a choice anymore. It feels like who you are, but it's not. It's what you learn to do to survive. And you don't live in that environment anymore. But here's what's happening now. You're creating the very outcome you fear. By avoiding choice, you let life choose for you. Life doesn't care about your potential. It doesn't care about your dreams. It just moves forward, and you're left behind. Not because you're not capable, but because you're waiting for permission. Permission to want something. Permission to choose something. Permission to be wrong and survive it. No one will give it to you. You have to take it. And taking it doesn't mean fearless. It doesn't mean perfect. It means making choices anyway. Knowing they might be wrong. Knowing you might regret them. Knowing uncertainty is part of life. The child who learned that choosing was dangerous had no choice. Had to become small, uncertain, frozen. But you're not that child. You are an adult with resources. With the ability to course correct, with the capacity to make a choice, see what happens, and adjust. Healing doesn't mean fixing your decision making. It means changing your relationship with uncertainty. It means accepting that no choice comes with a guarantee, that every path has risks. That regret is not failure. It means making a decision, any decision, and sitting with the discomfort that follows. Not running from it, not undoing it immediately. Not asking 12 people if you made the right call. Just sitting with it, letting your nervous system learn that you can choose and survive. That the world doesn't end when you commit. That being wrong is uncomfortable, not catastrophic. This won't happen all at once. It will happen in small moments. The moment you order first at the restaurant instead of waiting. The moment you say yes to plans without overthinking. The moment you send the message without rewriting it. And then, the moment after, nothing terrible happens. You're still here, still intact, still capable of choosing again. That's when the old program loosens. Not because you convinced yourself it was wrong, but because you showed your nervous system something different. You showed it that choosing doesn't destroy you. That responsibility isn't a trap. That uncertainty is just part of being alive. You are not indecisive because you're weak. You are frozen because you are hurt. And the way forward isn't through certainty. It's through movement, one imperfect choice at a time.